Her vision tunneled to black as another kick slammed into her ribcage. Through the agony, Maya Chen's trembling fingers found her phone, the screen slick with her own blood. She needed her sister. Someone. Anyone. She typed the message through tears and shattered bones, begging for salvation. She pressed send without checking the number. 3 seconds later, a reply burned onto her cracked screen from a number she'd never seen before. "Stay alive. I'm coming for you." Maya didn't know she'd just texted the most dangerous man in the city. The bedroom door shuddered against Ryan Fletcher's shoulder as he threw his weight against it. Maya had wedged a chair under the handle, but the wood was splintering. Each impact sent vibrations through the floor where she lay crumpled, clutching her side. Every shallow breath felt like swallowing razor blades. "Open this door, Maya." Ryan's voice was thick with bourbon and rage. "You think you can lock me out of my own bedroom, in my own house that I paid for?" Maya's fingers shook so violently she could barely hold the phone. She needed to call Sophia, her older sister, the only family she had left. Her vision swam with tears and pain as she tried to focus on the contact list. Her thumb slipped. She didn't notice the last digit was wrong. "Help me," she typed, each word an act of desperate will. "He's going to kill me this time. 2547 Riverside Drive. Please hurry. I think my ribs are broken." She hit send and let the phone drop. Her hand went back to her torso where the pain was white-hot and all-consuming. She'd felt something crack when his boot connected. Something inside her wasn't right. Each breath was shorter than the last. The chair gave way. The door exploded inward, and Ryan stood in the frame, backlit by the hallway light like some nightmare given flesh. He was still wearing his suit from the firm, the tie loosened, the jacket discarded somewhere downstairs. His eyes were glassy and wild. "Who are you texting?" He crossed the room in 3 strides and grabbed her phone from the floor. Maya tried to reach for it, but her body wouldn't respond. The pain was too much. Ryan stared at the screen, his face twisting with confusion and then fury. "Who the fuck is this number? Are you texting some guy? Are you cheating on me?" It's Sophia," Maya gasped. "My sister." "Liar!" He hurled the phone against the wall. It shattered into pieces. "You're always lying to me. Always making me look like the bad guy." He grabbed a fistful of her hair and dragged her across the carpet. Maya screamed, the sound tearing from her throat. He pulled her into the hallway and threw her against the banister. The impact drove the air from her lungs. She couldn't breathe. She literally could not pull air into her chest. "Please," she wheezed. "Ryan, I can't breathe." "You'll breathe when I say you can breathe." He undid his belt, sliding the leather free from the loops with practiced ease. "I work 60-hour weeks at the firm. I give you everything. This house, the car, the credit cards. And you disrespect me like this?" He raised the belt. Maya closed her eyes, waiting for the strike that would probably kill her. The doorbell rang. The sound was so absurdly normal, so cheerful and domestic, that for a moment neither of them moved. It rang again, insistent. Ryan froze, the belt hanging in midair. "Who the hell?" He looked down at Maya with pure venom. "If you make a sound, if you say one word, I will finish this. Do you understand me?" Maya nodded, unable to speak anyway. Ryan smoothed his hair, adjusted his shirt, and descended the stairs. He was transforming before her eyes, putting on the mask he wore for the world. The successful attorney, the charming husband, the pillar of the community. She heard him open the door. "Look, it's almost midnight. We're not interested in—" The door exploded inward with a crash that shook the house. Maya heard Ryan cry out in shock. Then came footsteps, multiple sets, heavy and deliberate. "Where is she?" The voice was deep, cold, and absolutely certain. It didn't ask. It demanded. "Who the fuck are you?" Ryan was trying for authoritative but landing somewhere near terrified. "This is breaking and entering. I'm calling the police. Do you know who I am? I'm Ryan Fletcher, partner at—" "I don't care if you're the president." The voice came closer. "You have 5 seconds to tell me where she is before I start breaking bones." Maya tried to lift her head. Through the banister rails, she could see into the foyer below. 3 men in black tactical gear stood inside the entrance, but they weren't the one speaking. The one speaking stood in the center, wearing an immaculate charcoal suit that probably cost more than Ryan's car. He was tall, broad-shouldered, with dark hair swept back from a face that could have been carved from marble. But it was his eyes that stopped her heart. They were black and empty and promised violence. "Upstairs," Ryan stammered, all his bravado evaporating. "But this is a misunderstanding. She fell. She's clumsy. The man in the suit moved faster than Maya thought possible. One moment he was standing still. The next, his fist connected with Ryan's jaw with a crack that echoed through the house. Ryan crumpled like paper. "Stay down," the man said, stepping over Ryan's groaning form. His eyes lifted to the top of the stairs, and they found Maya immediately. He took the stairs 3 at a time. When he reached her, he stopped, and something flickered across his face. Not quite emotion, more like the ghost of a memory. "Did you text me?" he asked. His voice had changed. It was still hard, still cold, but there was something underneath it now, something almost gentle. Maya managed a nod. "Wrong number. Best mistake you ever made." He shrugged off his suit jacket and draped it over her shoulders with surprising care. "My name is Dante Russo. I'm getting you out of here." "The police," Maya whispered. "He knows all the judges. The chief of police plays golf with his senior partner. They'll arrest you." "Let them try." Dante lifted her as easily as if she weighed nothing. Maya bit back a scream as the movement jarred her ribs. "I know. I'm sorry. We need to move now." As he carried her down the stairs, Maya saw Ryan trying to crawl toward the phone in the living room. One of the men in tactical gear put a boot on his back, pinning him to the floor. "Please," Ryan was saying, his voice cracking. "Please, you don't understand. She's lying. She manipulates people. She made me—" "Shut up," Dante said without looking at him. "If you speak again, I'll have them remove your tongue." Ryan shut up. Outside, a black SUV waited with its engine running. Dante placed Maya in the back seat with the same careful precision he'd used with his jacket. He climbed in beside her. "Drive," he told the man behind the wheel, "and call Dr. Castellano. Tell him we're coming in hot. Possible punctured lung, multiple fractures." As the SUV pulled away from the house, Maya finally let herself feel the fear she'd been holding back. Her body started to shake uncontrollably. "You're safe now," Dante said. He didn't touch her, seemed to understand that touch would be too much right now. "I promise you, he will never put his hands on you again." "Why?" The word came out as barely a whisper. "You don't know me. Why would you risk this?" Dante's jaw tightened. For a long moment, he didn't answer. When he finally spoke, his voice was distant. 5 years ago, I got a voicemail from my younger sister. She was dating someone I didn't approve of. I was busy. I didn't listen to it until the next morning." He paused. By then, she was dead. He'd beaten her to death in a hotel room while I was 3 blocks away, having dinner. Maya felt tears sliding down her face. "I'm sorry." "Don't be sorry. Just stay alive." He looked at her, and in those dark eyes, she saw an ocean of pain. Her name was Isabella. She was 23 years old, and I couldn't save her. But I can save you. The SUV pulled up to a mansion that looked more like a fortress. High walls, security cameras, men with earpieces stationed at intervals. Maya was too exhausted to be afraid. Dr. Castellano was waiting in what looked like a fully equipped medical suite. He was an older man with kind eyes and steady hands. He examined Maya while Dante stood in the corner watching. 3 fractured ribs, the doctor announced. One of them punctured the pleural space. We need to drain the fluid from her lung. She's lucky. A few more hours, and this could have been fatal. Do what you need to do, Dante said. The procedure was agony, but Maya bit down on a leather strap and endured it. When it was over, Dr. Castellano gave her something for the pain, and the world started to blur at the edges. The last thing she saw before unconsciousness claimed her was Dante, still standing in the corner, watching over her like some dark guardian angel. She woke to sunlight streaming through floor-to-ceiling windows. For a moment, she couldn't remember where she was. Then it all came rushing back, the beating, the text, the man in the suit. Maya sat up slowly, wincing at the tight bandages around her ribs. She was in a bedroom that was larger than her entire apartment had been before Ryan. Silk sheets, antique furniture, original art on the walls. "You're awake." She turned her head. Dante sat in a leather chair by the window, reading a file. He was wearing a black turtleneck today, and somehow he looked even more dangerous in casual clothes than he had in the suit. "How long was I out?" Maya asked. 18 hours. The doctor said you needed the rest." He closed the file and set it aside. "How do you feel?" "Like I got kicked by a horse." She touched her ribs gingerly. "But better than I expected." "Good." Dante stood and poured a glass of water from a crystal pitcher. He brought it to her. "Drink. You're dehydrated." Maya took the glass, noticing for the first time that her hands were bandaged too. She didn't remember hurting them. "Where am I?" "My home, the Russo estate." He sat on the edge of the bed, careful to maintain distance. "You're safe here. 24-hour security. No one gets in without my permission." "Ryan is currently being questioned by some associates of mine," Dante interrupted. "He won't be a problem." Maya's eyes widened. "You didn't kill him?" "No, though I wanted to." Dante's expression was unreadable. "But he's powerful, a partner at a major law firm. He has connections. If he disappears, those connections will come looking." "So we're playing this differently." "How?" "By destroying him the right way." Dante pulled out his phone and showed her a news article. The headline read, "Prominent attorney Ryan Fletcher under investigation for domestic violence." Maya's breath caught. "How did you—" "I have my own connections. By tomorrow, the state bar will have received an anonymous complaint with medical evidence. His firm will distance themselves. His clients will abandon him. He'll be finished." "He'll come after me," Maya said, fear clawing at her throat. "He told me once that if I ever tried to leave, he'd kill me. He said he'd make it look like an accident." "He can try." Dante's voice was cold steel. "But he'll have to go through me first, and nobody goes through me." Over the next week, Maya stayed at the estate. She met Dante's housekeeper, Rosa, who fussed over her like a mother hen. She met Marco, Dante's right-hand man, who was somehow both terrifying and oddly gentle. She learned the rhythms of the house, and she learned about Dante. He was the head of the Russo crime family, one of the most powerful organizations in the city. He controlled shipping, construction, and half the nightclubs. But he had rules. No drugs, no human trafficking, no harming innocents. "My father had no rules," Dante told her one evening as they sat in his library. "He was a monster. When he died, I inherited an empire built on suffering. I've spent 10 years trying to reshape it into something I can live with." "Is that possible?" Maya asked. "Cleaning up a crime family?" "I don't know," Dante admitted, "but I'm trying. Because if I don't Isabella died for nothing." Maya found herself drawn to him despite everything, or maybe because of everything. He was dark and dangerous, yes, but he was also honest in a way Ryan had never been. There was no mask. This was who he was. But the peace couldn't last. One week after her rescue, Dante burst into the library where Maya was reading. His face was thunderous. "We have a problem." He turned on the television. Ryan Fletcher was on the screen, standing next to the chief of police. He had a bandage on his face and looked like a grieving victim. "My wife Maya was kidnapped from our home," Ryan said, his voice breaking with theatrical precision. "Armed men broke in and took her by force. We believe she's being held by the Russo crime syndicate. Maya, if you're watching this, I love you. Please come home." Maya felt sick. "He's making me the victim of a kidnapping." "He's smart," Dante said grimly. "He's using the law against me. The police have a warrant. They're going to raid this house in less than an hour." "I can't go back to him," Maya said, standing despite the pain in her ribs. "He'll kill me." "You're not going back." Dante's voice was absolute. "But we need to leave. Now." They moved to a safe house in the mountains, a remote cabin that the family used for emergencies. The drive was tense. Dante sat beside her in the back of the armored SUV, silent and calculating. "Why are you doing this?" Maya asked quietly. "You could hand me over. Make this go away." Dante looked at her, and for the first time she saw something vulnerable in those dark eyes. "Because when I got your text, I was at my sister's grave. It was the 5th anniversary of her death. I go every year and tell her I'm sorry." He paused. "And then my phone buzzed, and it was like she was giving me a second chance. I'm not wasting it." At the safe house, everything changed. Away from the city, from the guards, and the constant threat, they talked. Really talked. Dante told her about growing up in the shadow of a brutal father, about Isabella's laughter, and how it had died the day their father hit her for the first time, about the empire he'd inherited and the weight of trying to be better than the man who'd built it. Maya told him about her childhood, about Sophia raising her after their parents died, about meeting Ryan and thinking he was salvation, about the slow, insidious way the abuse had started, a cruel word here, a shove there, until one day she was trapped in a nightmare with no way out. "I used to think I deserved it," Maya admitted one night as they sat by the fireplace. "He was so good at making me believe I was the problem." "You never deserved it," Dante said fiercely, "and he's going to pay for making you think you did." Their hands touched on the armrest between them. Neither pulled away. "I can make him disappear," Dante said quietly. "One word, and he's gone. No body, no evidence, just gone." Maya shook her head. "If you kill him, you prove him right. Everyone will think the Mafia murdered an innocent lawyer. I need to destroy him properly. I need the world to see who he really is." Dante looked at her with something like awe. "How?" "There's a safe in his office," Maya said. "He keeps files on everyone. Judges he's bribed, cops on his payroll, and videos." Her voice cracked. "Videos of what he did to me. He filmed it to keep me quiet, to remind me what would happen if I talked." Dante's jaw clenched so hard she heard his teeth grind. "He filmed it?" "Yes." "Then we're getting that safe." Dante stood up, already planning. "Marco, we're going back to the city." The plan was dangerous. Ryan's office building had security, but more importantly, Ryan himself was staying there now, playing the victimized husband from a makeshift command center. "I'm the distraction," Maya said. "I'll call him. Tell him I escaped you. That I want to come home." "Absolutely not," Dante said immediately. "Too dangerous." "He needs to see me," Maya insisted. "If he thinks I'm coming back to him, he'll drop his guard, he'll leave the office. Your people can get the safe while he's gone." Dante looked like he wanted to argue, but he saw the determination in her eyes. "You stay wired. The second I think you're in danger, I'm pulling you out." "Deal." They set it up in a public park. Maya, wearing a wire under her jacket, used a burner phone to call Ryan. "Ryan, it's me," she said, forcing her voice to shake. "I got away. I'm scared. Please, I just want to come home." There was a pause, then Ryan's voice dripping with false concern. "Maya? Oh my God, baby, where are you?" "The park, the one near your office. Please, hurry." She hung up. Dante was in a van 50 yards away, listening to every word. "He's coming," Marco reported through the earpiece. "And he's bringing 2 men with him, off-duty cops." "Figured as much," Dante said. "Are we in position at the office?" "Team's breaching now. We'll have the safe in 10 minutes. Ryan's car screeched to a halt near the park entrance. He jumped out, looking around wildly. When he saw Maya, his expression shifted. Just for a second, she saw the mask slip. She saw the rage. Then it was back in place. He ran to her, and when he reached her, he grabbed her arm hard enough to bruise. His public mask had vanished now that they were close. "You stupid bitch!" he hissed. "Do you have any idea what you've cost me? The partners are asking questions. Clients are pulling out. This is all your fault." "You hurt me," Maya said, loud enough for the hidden microphones to catch every word. "You broke my ribs. You beat me." "I should have broken your neck when I had the chance," Ryan snarled. "Get in the car. We're going somewhere private and we're going to have a long conversation about loyalty." "I don't think so." Dante emerged from the shadows, and he wasn't alone. Behind him, a dozen men in suits fanned out. But more importantly, behind them were cameras, press, reporters with equipment. Ryan's face went white. "What is this?" "Justice," Dante said simply. At that moment, every screen in the park square flickered. The digital billboard, the display outside the coffee shop, even the screens visible through the nearby office windows. All of them showed the same thing. Video footage. Ryan in their bedroom, belt in hand. The sound of leather striking flesh. Maya's screams. Then it cut to different footage. Ryan in his office, counting cash, discussing how to frame a witness, how to pay off a judge, how to make evidence disappear. The contents of the safe. Marco had uploaded everything to every screen in a 3-block radius. The reporters surged forward, cameras flashing. The footage kept playing on loop. Ryan stared at the screens, his face cycling through shock, rage, and finally, desperate fear. He looked at Maya, and she met his gaze with cold satisfaction. "You're finished," she said softly. Something broke inside him. Ryan reached behind his back and pulled out a compact pistol. The two dirty cops with him went for their weapons, but red laser dots appeared on their chests from the surrounding buildings. They froze. Ryan didn't care. He only had eyes for Maya. "If I'm finished, you're coming with me." He raised the gun. Dante moved. He was fast, faster than Ryan could track. He stepped directly in front of Maya, shielding her with his body. Two shots rang out simultaneously. Ryan's gun fired just as Dante's hidden weapon cleared his jacket. Ryan dropped to his knees, clutching his shoulder, his gun clattering to the pavement. He screamed in pain and rage and defeat. But Dante stumbled backward, and Maya saw the dark stain spreading across his white shirt. "No!" Maya caught him as he fell, lowering him to the ground. "Dante, no, stay with me!" "I'm all right," he gasped, but his face was pale. "Just a flesh wound." "You're a terrible liar." Tears streamed down her face as sirens wailed in the distance. Real police this time, not the ones on Ryan's payroll. "Had to make sure," Dante whispered, his hand finding hers. "Had to make sure you were safe." The ambulance arrived in minutes. The paramedics loaded Dante onto a stretcher while police swarmed Ryan. Maya heard them reading him his rights: assault with a deadly weapon, domestic violence, bribery, racketeering. The list went on. She rode in the ambulance with Dante, holding his hand the entire way. The bullet had missed his heart by less than an inch. The surgery took 4 hours. Maya sat in the waiting room, still wearing clothes stained with his blood, refusing to leave. When the surgeon finally emerged, she stood on shaking legs. "He's stable," the doctor said. "He's asking for you." Maya ran to his room. Dante looked pale against the white sheets, hooked up to monitors and IVs, but his eyes were open. "You look terrible," he said with a weak smile. "You got shot protecting me," Maya said, tears flowing freely now. "You jumped in front of a bullet." "Told you," Dante rasped. "Nobody touches you. Not while I'm breathing." "I'm safe now," Maya said, taking his hand. "Ryan's finished. It's over." "Good." Dante closed his eyes. Then it was worth it. 3 months later, Ryan Fletcher was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison. The evidence had been overwhelming. His law license was revoked. His assets were seized. He would spend decades in a cell, and given the Russo family's reach, his time inside would be particularly unpleasant. Maya stood on the balcony of Dante's estate, looking out over the city lights. She'd spent the past months healing, both physically and emotionally. Dante had been patient, never pushing, always present. She heard him approach, his footsteps still a bit uneven from the injury. He wrapped his arms around her waist from behind. "Regrets?" he asked. "Only one," Maya said, turning in his arms to face him. "That I didn't type the wrong number sooner." Dante laughed, the sound warmer than she'd ever heard it. He pulled out his phone and showed her a screenshot of that first desperate text. "I keep this," he said, "to remind me." "Remind you of what?" "That sometimes the best things in life happen by accident." He kissed her forehead. "Isabella couldn't be saved, but you, Maya, you saved me just as much as I saved you." Maya pulled him closer, kissing him with a passion that erased all the pain that had come before. They were two broken people whose jagged edges fit perfectly together, and in the darkness of the city below, they had finally found their light.